Has stepping back changed the way that you're approaching things from here on in? What's been the thing that's you've maybe discovered about yourself and discovered about how you're going to take things on in life?
Great question. It's funny. C.S. Lewis wrote a great book called Screwtape Letters, and I'm sure many people have read it. But in there's this kind of story where it's the demon and the uncle demon, and the uncle demon's trying to mentor the young demon. He's trying to figure out how to, first of all, have people not become Christians, and then second of all, once they've become Christians, how do I trip them up? And he shares this story about, okay, I've lost the cause. The person that he's trying to inflict pain on has decided to become a Christian, and he's going to the uncle demon saying, I don't know what to do now because he's a Christian. And the uncle demon says, the mentor says, make them busy, because you will make them ineffective if you make them busy. And I'll never forget reading that many, many years ago, and it troubling me, and it probably troubled me even more years ago when I actually probably looked at my life and said, oh, I'm really busy. And so for me and Joel to be able to take some time off and just reflect on life, see kind of, what's next? Like you can only just do music so much before it starts to maybe feel stale, or it starts to feel a little dry. And I don't want to be someone that's ever stale or dry. And so I think this resetting has kind of proven the things that are good, the things that are real. And my hope is to never look back from that.
So if you've been trying to not be busy over the past year, what has the year looked like?
Well, I mean, I think that people are still designed to work, right? So we've still worked, it's just that in a very normal way, hopefully not in a way that is, out of town every, weekend, hopefully home and present with family. I'm actually about to go and pick up like an ATV that's been serviced. So I've been doing good things around. We live on a little farm, so good things like that I find very life-giving and very grounding. So stuff like that.
Okay, you've been hanging out in America for far too long, because I don't know what you just talked about there. What is it? An
ATV.
What's that?
So it's like like on your farm, you'd have a little vehicle that you would that's not your truck, that's not your vehicle, that you would use to work on the farm with.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Now,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely know what you're saying now.
We're city
so
people
what would
here.
what would the New Zealander phrase be?
No, we've just revealed that we've been in the city too long and we haven't been in the country enough.
I'm a city boy.
You guys need to go spend some time. You need to go spend some time with the sheep.
We do.
And you'll understand.
The view that you have, and hopefully you'll be able to see this when we post up the video, is beautiful, is spectacular. There's sun coming through your sunroof there as you sit in your car.
Oh, I know.
The beautiful grass, blue sky.
It's spectacular.
This is our little land, I got my son who's putting on a trailer behind me, and it's just fantastic.
How can you not reset when you got that beautiful surrounding around you? Did that empower you with your faith, that reset? Did you come back and go, okay, this is a realignment for me, this is where I'm going to go from here? Or business as usual for you?
No. I think that God's always wanting to speak. And I think the question is, are we ready to listen? And there's an old proverb about I think it was a missionary many, many years ago, went to Africa. And on the first day, they walk like 10 miles or something. And the missionary's like proud of himself, American missionary, like, yeah, man, I got these guys. I'm bringing American values to Africa, and they said this was gonna take 4 days. I'm gonna do it in 3 days, that type of thing. And the next day he wakes up and he's like, yep, we're gonna do the same thing. And none of the people would move. And he goes to the leader and was like, hey man, we got 10 miles to do today. And the guy goes, oh no, we're not doing that today. And the guy and the American says, well, why aren't we doing that today? And he goes, because the African tribal leader says, oh, I'm waiting for my soul to catch up. We need to sit today. We need to rest. And I think it's those types of things that have been taking place. It's just there's been margin to be able to man, there's been margin for me to be. I said to my wife, last year when it was known that we were taking some time off, and someone came up to me my wife and I were talking, and she was like, "Well, what are you most excited about for this time off?" And I said, "I'm excited about being relied upon, because so
Oh,
much of my life is I've been too busy to go to the funeral. I've been too busy to go help the brother move, too busy to help, around that house of somebody that needs help." And that's what I was most excited about for this year.
that's so good, bro.
We want to hear about your new song, World on Fire. How long have you been working on this for?
And your dance moves. How long have you been working on the song and the dance moves?
My question back to you would, how long does it look like I've been working on these dance moves for?
Oh, we're gonna get to that, but if you could answer
Your
the
whole
Tabby
life,
song,
no.
I want to get to the dancing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
get
So
to the
this,
dance track.
yeah, exactly. So the beginning of the song, it was probably been, we started working on this record in February. And look, for King and Country, you guys would come over if you spend time in the studio, you would probably walk away going, huh, that was a unique experience, because we're slow, and people want to think of us like you just get in a room and you're like, oh, I'm singing Kumbaya. Oh, here comes a song. It takes a long time for us, for whatever reason. I've often said I'm not a good enough songwriter to write songs about things that I don't live. And in some cases, my wife said to me once, and it's not lost on me, but it can be frustrating. She's like, Luke, you don't really write songs, you receive them. And I was like, well, sometimes I'd like to write songs because that sometimes feels easier. But I think she's right. It's almost like you receive them. So the process can be long and arduous and slow. But it's been it's been in the works for probably 5, 6 months.
Okay, on that, receiving the song, is it something that gets planted in your heart and you follow that? So is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, you kind of just, like, for instance, this song was written, but it didn't have a bridge, which says, "This little light, I'm gonna let it shine bright." And so one day we were in the studio, and we're in with Taylor Hill, who features on the song and who's become a dear friend. And we were like, the song doesn't make as much sense if it doesn't have something that qualifies. What are you setting on fire?
Yep.
What is the fire? You set my world on fire. Like, what does that mean? And so for whatever reason, I walked in there and I was like, guys, you remember the old nursery rhyme? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, of course. I was like, what if we were to kind of rewrite that melody and rewrite that song? And it just came to me just like that. It just happened. I don't know what it was. It just happened. And that's kind of how obviously we've got the song now.
And everything's taken off. I mean, I'm not sure whether you caught up with every single TikTok video that's come out as a result of the dancing. But dude, it is on fire. Literally, the song "World on Fire" is on fire. Now, I had to take a screenshot of you and Joel doing your own TikTok, and you wrote, or somebody wrote on the front of that, on the caption, "Two Aussies just trying their best out here."
Yep. Yep, that's true. I would say this. I screw up lyrics almost nightly of songs that I've written that are my own songs. So you throw in the idea of trying to sing these songs and do something that some might call a dance move at the same time. My brain is like falling out continually. So if you look at that video, just look at how hard Luke is trying. It's like, with all that's in him, can he actually do this? That's how hard I was trying.
We've been trying to convince Sailor to do this dance. Do you have any encouragement for him?
Practice and look, and I would say, look in a mirror.
There, you hear it. You've
Thank
heard it
you.
here first,
Thank
guys.
you.
Sailor will be doing the dance on our Instagram later today.
Can you give us an insight into the album that's to come? Is this World on Fire a taste of the vibe? Are we going down this
Yeah.
road with the album? Can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek into it?
Yeah, one of the visions has always been, for this project, has been world beats. How do we just make this sound, because I love beats, but I'm not a great drummer, to be honest. I love making beats and I love playing them, but I'm not really a great drummer. But there's something about when you find a rhythm or a beat that like makes you move. like I come alive. And so the idea was to make it sound like the world, like outside of the New Zealand and Australia and America, like what are those sounds? And so the idea is to try and incorporate those sounds into this music.
Is there anything encouraging, Luke, before we cut you loose? We love your honesty. You know, whenever we talk to either you or Joel, that's what we get, and you're real. So we appreciate that. In terms of the song, and maybe where you're at right now, and somebody listening to this interview, what sort of encouragement have you got on the back of receiving your song, World on Fire?
Yeah, look, quickly becoming my favorite scripture in the Bible, and I've known it my whole life, and it just always never quite felt real to me. But it says that struggle produces something. Struggle produces perseverance, perseverance, character, character, hope. And I was listening to something not too long ago, and someone was like, "Hey, do you know that word hope in the ancient Greek? We don't really actually know how to describe it very well, because in the ancient Greek, the word for hope is actually certainty. But the only word that we know how to translate it to is hope. And so I've lived a life that has been filled with moments of struggle, but the struggle has produced something in me. And I think every single person has a choice when you're in the middle of struggle, whatever that might be, fill in the blank, no matter how young. It could be as simple as, hey, people don't like me at school, or it could be as extreme as I've got cancer. Struggle produces something. What are you going to allow it to produce in you?
Man, dude, we could go on and talk to you. We appreciate you taking time out of your day, because that's the kind of guys for King and Country are. We appreciate, again, your vulnerability and also your honesty, Luke. Go well. Tell us you'll be back in New Zealand next year.
Oh, I don't know about next year,
Okay.
but I do. We are trying. We are trying for, I think, the following year, which sounds just stupid that we have to even have that discussion.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, man, good. I love you so much. See you in 2 years. But that's, but
Okay.
it might be that. It might be that.